You on your side. Oh, hello. We have a new camera set up that is this massive multiple camera arms that we are working to upgrade our technology, yet our human capital is still struggling to catch up. And so while my loved Peter Rueth is truly great at many things, this is not one of them. Wow. Wow. You know what? But it goes right into the theme today, because here's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about mortgage lending and first-time home buyers and all the things, because the CPI numbers came out this morning, and they came out really right where we expected, and the market didn't like it. And the market didn't like it because we didn't have this progressive movement that we've been having over the last couple of months. And with it just settling in and slowing down, the market's like, but wait, our inflation numbers were dropping faster. So we're not getting the kind of bounce that we all would hope for. Yet, it is what it is. The volatility has become the norm. It's what we've been seeing. So I had a lovely coffee with a very good friend of mine yesterday, and Cher and I were going into the fact that this market and its volatility and its affordability and its struggles and its stress around where the market is going is causing many people in the market, especially in the real estate industry, to go negative, to go solemn, to go dark, to hide out, to not want to fight the good fight. And in fact, I found this quote that spoke so loud to me. And it said, staying positive does not mean that things will turn out okay. Rather, it is knowing that you will be okay no matter how things turn out. I mean, isn't that the point? I mean, when I talk about real estate, I talk about long-term. I am not day trading homes. I'm not even fix and flipping homes. I'm not even doing short-term rentals. I have C-grade rentals where 2 adults making minimum wage can afford them. And I talk about the power of real estate long-term. I talk about my kids, all 3 of them, that I was able to help buy a home at age 21. I talk about the fact that I didn't even understand that real estate was even safety growing up. It wasn't safety. It was instability. It was movement every year. It was not knowing where to plant your feet, to then growing into stability and then growing into not only sustainability, but to prosper financially. Real estate is long-term. These market volatility moments can seem so deafening and want to break people. And I don't care what industry you're in. Of course, many of the people that I'm surrounded by on a daily basis are in real estate. And we're doubly impacted because we're so highly affected by the changes in interest rates, that these changes and the swings of the Fed and the rising of the Fed rate and what's happening with the CPI or the retail sales numbers or the market that day. I mean, we saw a massive swing over 48 hours 2 weeks ago when the Fed came out, when Powell came out, and he sounded dovish. He sounded like things were going to start to get better and quickly. And then the very next day, the job numbers came out to a massive surprise with over 500,000 jobs. And the unemployment number actually went down to where it was in 1969. And when you consider how many more humans we have in the United States today than we did then, and to see that kind of tight job market, we had volatility. We had interest rates that dropped and then skyrocketed. We had this unknown going into the weekend. But here's the deal. I mean, here's what it comes down to. We had an amazing buyer's market this last weekend, Super Bowl weekend. While others were watching the Super Bowl, we had buyers out looking at homes, taking advantage of opportunities of not as many buyers out in the market. The last 3 weeks, while interest rates were still higher than they'd been in the last 2 years, we had buyers taking advantage of negotiating opportunities, getting in before the market even heats up more, already starting to see multiple bids. We have buyers who are in a mindset of opportunity, not distress. And when Sharon and I were sitting down talking, we were talking about the fact that there are so many lenders and real estate agents and professionals in the real estate market that are just beaten down by this volatility and the lack of stability, and they don't know where to go, and so therefore they can't express calm. They're not giving their clients their best version of themselves. They're not giving their clients the knowledge that real estate isn't about today. It's not even about this. If you can get $10,000 off because the house happens to be on the market over the holidays and it's still on the market and it needs some love, or maybe it needs a renovation loan, or whatever the situation is where the seller maybe priced it too high coming out of the gate and you have the opportunity to get a little bit off, or maybe you just have the opportunity to get it at a price where you know long term it will continue to appreciate, that's a win. Because none of this matters long term when we put a roof over our head and stability under our feet and we provide a safe place for our kids to live. We had Mercy Tucker on last week, who, my God, my heart and my soul lights up when I talk about Project ICU and the fact that being in a home that you actually own, that can't be taken away as long as you make your mortgage payment, and provides a kind of stability and change for those kids. You are more than changing the trajectory of lives. You are becoming the change agent if you're a real estate agent listening to this. This is our job, is to block out all the noise and provide those kids via their mom the ability to see the light at the end of the tunnel, the ability to block out all the news and to focus on the gain. And the gain is real estate long term. In fact, we just taught last week, we taught a building investment empire. If you haven't been to one yet, you're missing the boat. And if you're a real estate agent and if you're not sending your clients every single month, you're missing an amazing opportunity to talk about the passion behind real estate. And we do this at 6:30 p.m. every second Thursday night. And we talked about the fact that what if I had only so much money, right? What if I had $30,000 to my name and I wanted a better future? I could put that in the stock market, and at an average rate of return in the stock market of 7%, in 20 years, I could have around $116,000 from that 30. Well, from 30 to 116, that's pretty good. That's not bad. I can't really retire on that, though. Instead, if I took that $30,000 and I put a down payment on a $525,000 house in 20 years, at a historic rate of return of 3.6%, that $30,000, that $525,000 house has increased in value to over $1 million, $1,065,000 to be exact, at 3.6%. And I still only put $30,000, so I've almost doubled my opportunity with the $30,000. In the meantime, the $30,000 is growing not only through the appreciation, but also principal reduction. Real estate isn't about this. It's not about today. It's not about the CPI numbers that came out that made the market volatile. It's not about the fact that interest rates aren't 2.625, or they're not even 3.5, or not even 4.5, or even 5.5 for that matter. It's not about that. It's not about the fact that home prices have been going up over the last couple years, and it's making affordability a real concern. It's not about that. We have to be the change agents that helps people get through that noise and gets them to clarity to a solution. And that solution might not be the perfect home, because it just simply might not with home prices going up and interest rates up. But it could be the first step in a series of steps that take me to financial stability, that take me to a place where I know I can have the kind of retirement or the kind of lifestyle, or just simply provide my kids the ability to be secure and stable and to be change agents themselves. We talk about this 3.6% historic. Interestingly enough, the Home Price Expectation Survey that has 100 economists just came out. In fact, it just came out, I think, yesterday, and they were talking about the fact that the average of the 100 think that we're going to see over the next 4 years a 4.5% annual appreciation. You know what kind of change that makes? That's massive when I think even just over the next 5 years or 4 years that this survey was talking about, putting over $150,000 of net wealth into my clients' net worth. Yet if I get so caught up in what the CPI numbers are doing, and the interest rates and the volatility and the fear factor, and then nobody's going to want to talk to me with interest rates in the sixes, then we're not doing our clients justice. Then we're not serving their long-term success. That's the power of real estate. That's the mindset shift we have to enter in this market of volatility, because this could end up being a phenomenal real estate market. And in fact, if predictions come true, the back half of this year is going to be really strong once we start to see interest rates come down. And if you're a prospective buyer right now or renter, and you haven't jumped in yet because of all the fear and the noise and the emotion and the stress, and you're just like, I want to deal with that later because my real estate agent or my lender told me that now's not a good time. My real estate lender or my agent told me how bad the market is. My real estate agent or my lender told me that right now interest rates are high and that I should be afraid. Instead of jumping in, and I waited, and when interest rates dropped, I had to pay $50,000, $100,000 over asking, or I couldn't get that home that I knew would provide my kids the stability that they needed and the roof over my head. Those are the conversations right now. The mindset shift has to happen. We have to stay positive, knowing that just because it doesn't turn out exactly how we wanted, we remain good. In fact, I'll finish where I started. Staying positive does not mean that things will turn out okay. Rather, it means knowing you will be okay no matter how things turn out. And I believe that deeply, so fully. I believe in the promise of real estate. I believe in the attitude today will carry us for years to come. I believe that our positivity will attract more opportunity. This is exactly the market where you can have success and you can find not only your next home, your next investment, but the success that will continue for years to come. Nicole Rueth, hope you guys are having a fantastic rest of your day. And if you want to find out more about what this looks like from a positive change agent, we need to talk. I'll talk to you then.